Welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room. It's your boy Kris back again with the main man in the top corner, Mr. Louis Fell. How are you, mate? You good?
I'm good, thank you. I just realised I've moved my camera and now you can just see the wall where the green screen ends. Wait,
No,
I'm so confused.
no, it's all right.
Wait, no, on the
Oh, wait, yeah, you
left-hand side
can.
of
I
me, you
can
can
see
see
it
the
now,
wall.
yeah.
Right, bear with me a minute.
Yeah, he's going to have to move his camera or his green screen. We're also joined by the world's best Alison Becker lookalike, Mr. Drew Alexander Ross. How are you, mate? You good?
I'm doing good, Kris. Thanks for asking. Just stoked for Leicester, and I'm down to talk any transfer rumors as well.
Absolutely. It's obviously not the transfer window anymore, so we've kind of. I'm not going to lie to you, lads. We're clutching at straws with the title and the thumbnail today. I'm not here to tell you that this is definitely going to happen, but we're hearing some very, very good reports on some certain players. So we're just going to chat us through. Let's cover Cardiff to start off with. Louis, you're on the watch along for that one. How was it?
Yes.
I mean, what was the performance like?
I mean, it was just good to have them back, really. I was saying whilst the game was going on, the 2-week international break that just came out of nowhere. Like, I don't think anyone realised there was one until it was January. And worst possible timing, really. But so glad it was over. I had a lot of gripe with a lot of people, including Charlie and Owen from the LFC Transfer Room, who didn't say anything the whole watch along, came on at half time to complain about how bad we were, and then disappeared again. And not just those two, but the wider Liverpool Twitter community just got me really wound up. Like, it was our first game back after a 2-week international break. A lot of our players hadn't played international football, so they'd just gone on like a holiday or sat on their arse or whatever. It was obvious to anybody that it was going to be a slightly colder performance by everybody. No one was going to be up to scratch. So I was really not worried at all at half time. We were completely dominating the game, no matter what you think about our passing. We were in complete control. Cardiff rarely had a real sniff at this game. And I was proved right within 20, 30 minutes of the second half. Our quality took over and we beat them very, very comfortably in the end. So all round a successful day for us, back underway, back in the FA Cup, 5th round now. But yeah, got a little bit wound up. I'll just say that.
I think I did as well. I was actually in the pub watching the game with a load of Cardiff fans because that's where I'm from and living in at the moment. And I was keeping the fact that I was a Liverpool fan quiet until Harvey Elliott's goal went in, and I just couldn't keep it in anymore. Just like, yes, come on!
It's unreal, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
His first one, Drew, as well.
I don't think, Drew, that I've actually celebrated a goal like that. If in just like a cup game, in any, I've not celebrated one of that in ages.
Yeah, that just made me completely buzzing. That put the cherry on top of the cake for me. Like Luis Diaz coming in, showing a bit of his quality, his touches on the byline was just absolutely phenomenal. And then Harvey Elliott, just like the composure and just the overall athletic ability to do what he did and put it in the back of the net was amazing. And I was in LA, and so woke up at 4 a.m. for that game, and I didn't mind the slow first half because I was just waking up myself, but all the action came just at the right time. I don't think my neighbors were too happy for me cheering at like 5:30 in the morning for the Harvey Elliott goal, but I think they'll be used to it by now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to Jen. £4.49 super sticker. You absolute legend. If you don't want to donate to us, it does all go back into the production of the channel. We don't take a penny out of it yet, so we're all plowing it back in to the way that we do it. So it's you know where your money's going effectively. And that's where we're just here to produce content. We've got so much coming up for you, even when it isn't the transfer window. AFCON, Louis. AFCON. Brilliant watch along. I think right now it is the highest viewed video on our channel, which is
just
the
behind
AFCON
Shrewsbury,
which is pretty mental, to be fair. Especially because it's not a Liverpool game. But yeah. Sadio Mane, biggest kick of his life, probably in his footballing career. That was just consummate class.
I mean, up until that point, he'd had a pretty diabolical game. He missed the penalty within the first 5 minutes, which I think if Senegal had scored that, they would have steamrolled Egypt. And that's what I was fearing when they got it. I thought, oh, well, this is the contest over, essentially, because Egypt just had nothing going forward whatsoever. And towards the end of the game, you could see his frustration growing and probably the embarrassment from missing that, because there was a few like really pathetic dives. Like there were 2 that come to mind, which is bad for any player. So nothing to write home about. But when it really mattered, the 4th penalty, Egypt missing 2, he stepped up, and I have to say that's probably up there with one of the best penalties ever. Like the one he missed, it was pure power and nothing else. This one, he kept that power somehow and got the placement absolutely spot on. It was side netting, absolutely whacked in. And you'd struggle to find someone who'd say that Senegal didn't deserve it in the end, because they did just have that quality above Egypt.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, I was saying throughout the tournament, I just have a feeling about Egypt because the way that they managed to get through games without even having to score was a very, it's a great quality to have that battling ability. But I mean, we can't say that the Senegal didn't deserve it, as Louis said.
Yeah, they were the best team in the tournament for me. That being said, I was surprised when it got to penalties that Senegal pulled it off. I thought Egypt had the psychological advantage going into that, but looked like it was too big occasion for a couple of their players. And I was so happy to see Mane step up and really just put all that past behind him and hopefully carry that confidence and, back to the Liverpool first team.
And Louis, you will be doing a watch along for Leicester, am I right?
Yes, I will. Back here Thursday at 7:45. It's an 8:00 kickoff, right?
Yeah, so he will be there. Incredible. Probably, in my humble opinion, the best watch-alongs on YouTube. No disrespect, Craig.
It.
Love you, Craig. But if you want something on in the background, you stick Louis on. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. I'll take that background noise. I like that. Yeah.
You are the king of background noise, bro. You're absolute king of watch-alongs.
I'm telling you, Louis, for the Americans, like when it's early mornings, very soothing voice is a lot more preferred than some anxious, like uproarious commentary.
Yeah. Well, the 12 o'clock, the Cardiff game, that was early morning for you guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 4 in the morning. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Pleasure to be in service.
How are Man United doing, by the way? Has it started yet?
Ooh,
they're Man United 0-0 with Burnley after 9 minutes. I think that's got 0-0 written all over it, by the way.
Weghorst, he's got a score.
Yeah, the boy Weghorst. By the way, I don't think I've discussed it. What an unbelievable announcement video from Burnley. I don't know if you guys saw it for Weghorst. Incredible. It probably goes right up there in terms of some of the
better than Luis Diaz's.
oh, mate, Luis Diaz's was terrible. Liverpool ones are bad, but like I've seen actual genuine fans say like how bottom tier we are social media and how like that's a reason for us being like bad, but I don't think so. It's just Liverpool posting.
I couldn't believe it.
Someone.
They put him in front of, there was like pictures before it was announced of him in front of a green screen. So I was like, oh, right. So they put him in front of a green screen. So they're going to do something fancy. And then the announcement is just in front of a blank green screen. Oh, all right then. Nice.
I wonder how much these guys are getting. To be fair, the graphics on Liverpool's social medias are fantastic. But the videos, I mean, it's just Thiago walking up and saying, how are we? And Jota going, what's happening? Like it's following a template, isn't it? But let's talk about transfers because it is Transfer Central today. We've got several rumours to go through, all of which will be found on Sports Illustrated or LFCTransferroom.com. First off, we'll go to the Barcelona defender Ronald Araujo. Just as a player, Drew, how much have you seen of him, and would you think it would be an area that Liverpool would want to target?
I've seen a bit of his highlights, and I'm surprised that we're linked with that position at the moment because it seems like we're flushed with players, but for a center back. But he seems exciting. I just don't get the link for Liverpool at the given moment unless unless Gomez leaves. Yeah, because I think that Gomez and Konate are kind of billed as the ones to step in and take over for Matip and Van Dijk. But if Gomez is getting a little antsy and doesn't want to sit on the bench while waiting for his chance, then I can see us going for someone else. I'm a bit maybe hesitant with La Liga and Barcelona because I know they're not doing their best in La Liga, and seeing someone like Varane come to the Premier League and not really light it up. I'm a bit curious about the adaptability, but I don't see much in it right now, but it's exciting to be linked, and we'll see if anything develops.
Yeah, I mean, Louis, he's a Uruguay international. He's there, an ever present for Barcelona. And I know that's probably not saying as much as it was 5, 6, 7 years ago, but it's still, at his age, he's doing very well. I believe, and I want to be corrected if I'm wrong, he is out of contract in the summer. Let's just have a look. I'm pretty sure he is. Do you think? Oh no, he's out of contract next summer. So, do you think that Liverpool will sanction a move for him?
Like Drew said, I think it would depend on if it's going to be anyone. Joe Gomez leaving.
Oh, he is out of contract this summer. He's out of contract this summer. So.
Yeah. Yes, I think any centre back signing now is dependent on one of the other ones leaving, because I think 4 world class centre backs is more than enough, and then someone like a Nat Phillips or a Sepp van den Berg behind that is more than enough, unless you get like a miraculous injury crisis like what we happened to have last season. I just don't see that happening. I know a lot of people think that Joe Gomez should maybe look to move somewhere either on loan or permanently, because he seems to have fallen down the pecking order with Konate coming in. But I still think Joe Gomez is
bearded guy.
I have a name. It's right there. Come on.
Which bearded guy? There's 2 of them, and then one absolutely trying his best.
No, not for me on this one. I think that could easily be an agent trying to hike up interest. And I don't think, sorry, Bojak's sort of live commenting at the moment, I don't think Gomez is as bad as you're making him out to be. I mean, he was a massive part of the title-winning season. I think sometimes people do overrate him slightly. I think he's got a long way to go. But as I said, he's still very young. What is he, 24 years old? Which for a centre-back is incredibly young, not entering their prime until 29, 30. So I think you're probably being a little bit over the top with that. But no, Araujo, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. I just had to change your name there, Louis, because this is how it is these days.
I'm going to forget to change that for the watch along as well. So new people are wondering.
I mean, that's what I have to do. The thing is with Gomez, I think people sort of underestimate how much those injuries have affected him. I'm so surprised that he's got back and been as and been able to play football, because the injury he picked up with England last year after Virgil got injured was awful in his knee. I know everyone's seen the scars, and he's worked so hard to get back. But I just think for him, Drew, it would be the best thing for his own career to move on rather than stay at Liverpool and probably stay as 4th choice.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with that one because I really rate him. I do, maybe not at the moment world class, but he showed world class ability. And I think it's hard to, he's been in and out of the side in cup games for the most part. The few appearances this season, have been weeks or months in between. So to expect him to come in and perform at levels he has in the past, on the bounce is just unrealistic. If he had a string of games in the side, like if Matip got injured and Gomez got the shot, I would back him to come in and partner Van Dijk amazingly well, because he's done it in the past, and I don't think that talent just disappears. But as you said, Kris, the injuries are another side of it, and maybe he does need, he would benefit from regular first team appearances, but I wouldn't want to let him go. I'd be curious if we could loan him out. I don't know if that's realistic, but he's a talent I wouldn't want to lose, because I see him being one of the top English center backs in coming years.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to let go of, really, because we all know, we were all very used to the fact that Joe Gomez, when brought in and in his time under Jurgen Klopp, was the future of Liverpool's backline. And he has, but now it should be his time where it is the present of Liverpool's backline, and he's not. And that's maybe partly down to the resurgence of Joel Matip and the way that he's improved, the signing of Kanate as well, and his injury. So there's a lot of factors that have worked against Gomez. I just think maybe, Louis, from a selfish Liverpool perspective, we should look to keep him, but for his perspective, maybe it would be best for him to move on.
I think if it was under any regular manager, maybe, but I think Klopp, his man management's maybe one of the best in world football. That's a whole different topic. But if anyone can convince a young centre back that, look, this season is a time for the resurgence of Joel Matip. We're just trying to keep a really stable starting 11 at this moment in time. You've had your bad injuries. We've got you on a new physio regime, whatever it is. Use this as a work in progress season. Get you through it, and the next season we can look to go again. Essentially, I think if there's anyone who convinced Gomez that is worth doing, I think it's Klopp, and I think it's important that we do that, because if he goes, we have to replace him. We probably got to pay more unless we can get a coup, unless we can get Araujo when he's becomes a free agent. We've got to spend more money on someone, embed them all over again. So yeah, I guess still it is selfish, but it's very short-term thinking for Joe Gomez to start thinking about moving away from Liverpool after one season of not necessarily being in Klopp's plans.
I suppose so, yeah. Completely went off topic there. But that's what we love to do. We love to ramble. And with Ronald Araujo, there was a rumour that Manchester United offered him a €10 million per year contract. Apparently, so that might come through. Another one, actually, again, not even Liverpool related, but Niklas Süle going from Bayern to Dortmund. That's sort of like a reverse conveyor belt, Drew, in that sense, because it's usually the other way around.
Yeah, I almost feel like Bayern kind of feel bad at the end for some players' careers. Like, I think Hummels went back to Dortmund, and they're kind of like, yeah, we got the best years out of these guys. Here you go. I don't know. Like, I have no idea how they keep snagging Dortmund's top players, and that, relationship is still there for transfers. But, I guess for German players and Germany, Bayern Munich's the epitome of German football. So I guess Bayern will always have that attractability or attractiveness. But yeah, a good pickup for Dortmund. I'm a fan of Süle, so we'll see if that helps at all. But it's hard to look past Bayern in that league.
Are you surprised, Louis, that Liverpool weren't potentially sniffing around Niklas Süle?
No, I literally didn't even realise that transfer had happened, to be honest. But no, as I said, we're very clever about the way we do our business. A lot of people disagree with that and just say we're cheapskates, but I think we've proven, especially in this window, that we can be very shrewd when we need to be. And there's no point buying a fifth high-end centre-back at this point in the season for the wages that you'd be paying, and probably the transfer fee as well, because I don't know how much he moved to Dortmund for, but they'd probably charge a. Oh, okay. Well, maybe they'd still find a way to charge us. I don't know, but no, not for me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bojo. I respect everyone's opinion, but you're wrong on this one. You can't group Joe Gomez in with those, especially. I mean, look, I feel with all of those three players, they all had good moments as well. Like, you can't, big old Degsy Lovren, right? I don't disagree with his opinions on certain things, but 9 games out of 10, he wasn't bad. And then,
I kind of get where he thinks he's going. I get where Bojack thinks he's going. The difference between Lovren and Gomez is that Lovren had 2 or 3 calamities in him. You never really got that with Gomez. He probably more came from naivety due to his age. Those were his mistakes.
The fact is, Gomez, if he does make a blunder, he's got the pace to cover up. And maybe then the injuries have impacted that, which means he's obviously now got to develop into a more well-rounded defender. It's a very, very it's an interesting one with Gomez, and I think there's so many arguments both ways. But we're going to go to another guy in the thumbnail. Bukayo Saka is a player who's been linked with Arsenal. Contrary to belief in the chat, he is out of contract in 2023. So coming into this summer, he is got 1 year left. Oh no, it says 2024 here. Well, there's contrasting reports. So 2024, 2 years left on his deal. Drew, I mean, if the only way I can see Liverpool sanctioning a deal for Bukayo Saka is if Mo Salah leaves. And that's not something I want to see.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't see all of a sudden we now have a lot of options for backup wingers and arguably contending for first team games. But I'm a huge fan of Saka, so I would love to see Liverpool pick him up and somehow work him into the squad. I don't think it's realistic, like you said, unless Salah leaves. But I don't know. I still would like to see it happen somehow. I guess I'm being selfish there, and maybe he could fight for a place in the team somewhere else. But he's an exciting young talent, and I think he offers a bit something else that someone like Luis Diaz brings to the team. And in general, I think maybe if Mane left, he'd be an interesting option. I know he plays on the right, but at the same time, I'm really happy with our forward options. Maybe striker needs a look at, but on the wings, I think we're set.
Yeah. With the quotes from Neil Jones, who is pretty reliable, I will have to say that. He said Liverpool like him. I think that goes back to when he was in the youth team. He's a brilliant player. That first leg he played at Anfield was some performance. If he's out of contract at Arsenal, then Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and every club in Europe will be looking at him. They really do need to get into the Champions League, and if they don't, Liverpool will look to swoop in. Now, if you're Bukayo Saka, Louis, I want to compare this to Raheem Sterling at Liverpool in 2015, where you're a young player. You're not quite proven in terms of your goal-scoring ability, but everyone can see the talent there. Do you think Liverpool would go for him if Arsenal did manage to not even get top 8?
I mean, yeah, he fits the profile of what we've seen over the last few years with the likes of Jota, Diaz, people who aren't at the elite level just yet, but there's a strong feeling that with a bit of tutelage, they could reach that level. So I think he fits, but the fact that he plays in the Premier League for a top 6 club traditional top 6 club in Arsenal, just means he's incredibly expensive. So Bojack said his contract expiry isn't until 2024. So up until the end of next season, they could still be asking for 70 million for him, which would be no surprise. I think this is all smoke and mirrors again, probably from an agent trying to rack up some interest to get Arsenal to up their wage offer, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm sorry to sort of piss on the whole transfer parade, but once again, I think this is a case of, we've done very well signing Luis Diaz. We've got 3 fantastic starting options. We've got Diaz, we've got Jota. Then below that, we've got Minamino, etc., etc. I think we're fine in that department for now, unless a Sadio Mane or a Firmino goes in the summer. But I still struggle to see that happening.
The thing is, though, and I see a young English player in Saka with ambition, Drew. I don't know whether Liverpool would be the club for him, but do you think he will stay at Arsenal if they, don't even get European football?
I think it depends on if he thinks they can turn it around. He's a young player, very young player, and Arsenal gave him his shot. So if he believes in Arteta and the project they're building, I think he could give them, he can afford to give them another year, maybe two. But it depends how hungry he is for immediate success and what kind of legacy he wants to build as a player. If he went over and moved to somewhere like Chelsea, that tarnishes his reputation on Arsenal, and Chelsea legends are there, but they tend to be more of a mercenary club. So it really depends what kind of situation he wants. Does he want a really long-term looking, or is he just like, I want to play at the best level as soon as possible? So if that's the case, I think he could start looking for a move, but he's one of the top players, and it seems like Arsenal's trying to build the team around him and Smith Rowe and players like that, and really build for the future. So I think it depends if he believes in that project or not.
Yeah, Bojack, we'll really appreciate you, mate. We'll love the interaction. I mean, look at this. The transfer window closed, mate. But I'll tell you what, the transfer never ends at LFC Transfer Room. The transfer window never ends. It keeps going. And we'll always speculate, we'll always think, we'll always wonder, what if XYZ player came to Liverpool? It was 3 months ago that we did our first video on Luis Diaz, and it happened. So, who knows? Bukayo Saka, it might come and join us. I'm going to get a final verdict. Louis, Saka, yes or no?
No. Just another point slightly off that. It's just weird because until these last few months, maybe it was a little bit longer, I just always thought of Saka as an Arsenal born and bred kid, and I felt that he was going to be with them for the long haul. We
were linked with him before he signed his last contract. It was just after we won the league.
Oh, okay.
But again, it's come back now.
Yeah.
And I just think I don't know. I would have 100% say yes. I think he's got the potential to be. I think if he gets someone who can get him scoring,
does that depend on somebody else going out?
For me, I think it depends on Mane, because I think Saka could be made into and molded into a Mane, as well as he can play on the right. He can play at left back if you want him to. He's that easy.
So are you saying you'd take that swap right now as well? You would force Mane out in order to get Saka in, just to fully fledge out your opinion on this, because no flippy flapping.
Oh, Louis, that is such an interesting one. I would do it purely based on forward planning. Because I don't think Mane stays after this summer anyway. So I would do it. I don't think Saka's anywhere near the player Mane is right now, but I think he could be as good, if not better.
What about your buddy Jared Bowen, Chris? You take him over Saka?
Oh yeah.
Oh boys, this is grilling. I feel like Boris Johnson. Do go to work. Don't go to work.
Keep Salah, sell Salah.
Drew, I would take Bowen purely because he's from my hometown, and I have absolutely I have no shame in saying that. He would be on the back of all my shirts because I love him.
Yeah, a bit of a cop-out answer, but you covered yourself well, Chris.
Anyway, Rafinha. Louis, it's one of those links that never seems to go away. Even when Liverpool go and sign Luis Diaz, the next thing we know is Rafinha's getting linked. What are your thoughts? Firstly, on him as a player, and two, on the likelihood.
I'm surprised we're not linked with more central midfielders, because if Liverpool are going to focus on anywhere this summer, you'd think it would be there. I know we've got a large portion of centre mids in a minute, but you'd feel like at least one or two of them would be looking at or heading out of the door this summer. I don't know if Milner will plan to retire or go to the coaching setup. Naby Keita, whether there's still enough trust left in him. So there's two players already. A lot of people think Henderson should be on the bench. But anyway, getting back to Raphinha, I can't believe we're still being linked to him after Luis Diaz has come in. I don't see it happening. We've got a really good deal for Diaz. Considering the price we paid for Diaz, who's an overseas player, imagine what Leeds would now ask for Raphinha in the summer. So, good player, but just absolutely not needed at this point.
Yeah, I think I think in Diaz, I think everyone can see in 15 minutes the other day, this boy's special. He's got
I
the
couldn't
X
believe
factor.
it.
He really does. He honestly has the X factor. And he's so good. He's so good, man. Oh, I'm so excited to see him. I'm actually going up to the Norwich game on the 19th, I think it is. So hopefully he might be starting that game or something like that, or at least he gets some involvement. But the thing is with Raphinha, Drew, is that he does play on the right. Diaz is primarily a left-sided forward. Again, I hate to bring up the words out of my mouth. The only way I can see this happening is if Mo Salah leaves Liverpool.
Yeah, if that does happen, I wouldn't want someone like Rafinha replacing him. I think I've said this in a previous video that if we actually do lose Mo Salah, we need someone like a Kylian Mbappe or a Haaland coming in. That's the only acceptable way to lose Mo Salah, in my opinion. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll throw you that because me and you have the same love for Ox, so I can respect your love for Jared Bowen. But yeah, I'm again along with Louis, where I'm surprised we're not linked with more midfielders. Again, same as him. I think we're stacked in that position as far as depth, but quality and reliability is a bit questionable. And I think I saw a cheeky little link to Serge Gnabry, and someone like that is exactly who I'd want to be coming in to the midfield. So if I can put that out into the universe and get that some attraction going there, yeah, get that going for Liverpool.
Wouldn't he be homegrown? Because he was at Arsenal when he was younger, so he might potentially come under the homegrown category.
He plays for Germany, though.
Yeah. But one of the rules are if you train for 3 years between the age of 15
it's just
and
about
21,
time, isn't it?
you can. And by the way, I love Ox, right? But I might be transferring over to Harvey Elliott FC, boys.
Does that mean we can get rid of Ox now? Without upsetting you?
It's sort of like right. Listen. When you've got been with a girl for a long time, she's so reliable. You've been with her. She's still very good looking. She's still in her prime, but you see this.
You're talking about Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Oh my
God. No. In my opinion, you still no. In terms of how much I love them, right?
Okay.
But then you spot this new blonde walking in, right? She walks, and she struts, and she scores against Cardiff, and it's incredible. Sometimes you just gotta look. This is a bad analogy. This is a really bad analogy.
Chris, all your future lovers are forever going to be looking at your.
My girlfriend's fucking fuming right now.
There are no future lovers. There are no future lovers.
But look, you sometimes have to wonder. Obviously, it's just Harvey, mate. I just love him.
I think there's another side though. Like for me, it's the intangibles, like what he brings to the locker room. He seems like he's the only player who can connect with everyone, like every of the little cliques. Like he's joking around with Firmino, he's joking around with Thiago, he's joking around with all the Mane, and the English guys. He seems to get along with everyone, which is why I think we kept Albert Moreno for so long, was because he was keeping Coutinho, company. Well, until we got in Fabinho.
So when we sold Lovren and everyone thought that would be the end of Salah.
Yeah, but
he's got better.
He's got Tsimikas though. I don't know if you've seen them two but they're that. So I think that low key, I think there is some intangible aspects to having Ox in the locker room just as a positive presence. So not saying that that we should keep paying him, 50 grand a week.
Pay him to do the social medias and the TikToks, yeah. That's what we're saying.
But just showing more of my love on that side for him as well. It's
also,
not just
Jen, I know you're a regular. Jen, I know you're a regular in the Anfield Agenda chat. Never tell Craig because it'll ruin my brand. I'm always ox. I'm always ox to everyone there. But yeah, I mean, talking on outgoings, 3 Liverpool loanees made their debuts this weekend. Nico Williams obviously went to Manchester City, but not to Manchester City. He went to the Etihad Stadium with Fulham. Louis, he didn't really do anything. However, what did happen is that Fabio Carvalho scored a goal,
assisted by Harry Wilson as well. The Liverpool connection. Yeah, I think everyone creamed themselves when Carvalho scored that goal. So it's just a waiting game now. You know, we really wish we could have signed him. And for everyone in the chat who was around on deadline day, you know that me and Kris were up very late on that Monday night, waiting for that signing to go through. And then Kris had an unfortunate break and came back to find out it had all fallen to pieces. But with Nico Williams as well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move for him because he'll play most weeks. I think I think they've got a few right backs, but he'll offer them something good from an attacking sense as well. But he's never going to be an extraordinary right back, so I wouldn't expect to start seeing him chopping up with 10 assists from now to the end of the championship season, or going on an incredible defensive run. He's average, and that's okay. He's a championship / Premier League footballer, so being average is still freaking incredible, right? It's not an insult.
I think he gets a lot of disrespect because Trent's so good. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Because
but still, he wouldn't.
If he comes through 6 years ago, I think he gets in the first team.
Yeah, but so did John Flanagan.
Exactly, but Nico's levels above John Flanagan, Conor Randall. Like this guy is an international footballer, and he does very well for Wales. Like he's a very, very good international footballer.
Yeah, but I reckon if John Flanagan was Welsh, he would have got into that.
No way. He might have done that. Not anymore, but back then maybe.
Kris, Nico was like single-handedly responsible for your demise at the Euros. Like he was terrible for
every
Wales.
other game for Wales that he's played. He's been incredible. Like that's the only bad game. The one bad game.
Only bad game. He had like 3. He didn't have a single good game.
It's
at the Euros.
Not having it. Not having it. That's my boy. That's my boy Nico. Can't have
He's
this.
I didn't know
you were a Nico Williams stan as well.
I am.
I like him. I'm not insulting him at all.
Not all the normal ones. Like you get the Salah stands out there. I'm here for the little men in the world. You know what I'm saying?
I'm here for Nat Phillips though. Bournemouth debut, back in the headband straight away.
Yeah, Bournemouth debut, but I think he'd be wishing he played for the other Boar playing in that team, Boreham Wood. I mean, blimey, that was embarrassing.
Did you watch? I didn't watch the game. Did anyone?
Nat
see
wasn't
how
at fault
played?
for anything. He wasn't at fault for anything, but crikey. He Bournemouth lost at home. Bournemouth third in the championship, lost at home to Boreham Wood, who are in the National League. But, I mean, it's not a good look, is it?
And who was the other debutant?
I'm pretty sure the Echo said there was 3 loanees, but apparently there's only 2. So screw the Echo, man. Done me dirty there. Done me dirty.
Well, I said it'd be interesting to see what Nat Phillips is like without world-class players next to and ahead of him. Again, no disrespect to him, but if you put Joel Matip in a championship team, he won't look as good as he does now. It's no disrespect. It's just when you're next to other world-class players, everyone looks better, and that's why you go out and buy world-class players.
Yeah, I guess that's how it is. Final thoughts. We're going to go just cover a little bit of Leicester. We actually did have a preview go out earlier with Rob Tanner of The Athletic. So a really, really insightful interview. Also mentioned some potential transfer links to Yuri Tielemans and Harvey Barnes. So make sure to go over on that one. But Drew, what are your feelings coming up for Leicester?
I'm feeling a comfortable win, at least 3-0, maybe 4-1. Leicester's injury hit I don't think they pose much threat. Their defense is in shambles. Yeah, I think especially if Salah can get like starting, he's gonna score a hat trick. He's super pissed and he wants to, come back in and play football. So I don't see anything but a very comfortable and exciting win for Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, Louis, do you think Salah will start?
Oh, I think Klopp would be a brave man not to start him, but I do think it's the right decision. I mean, yeah, there was that video of him coming onto the training ground and Van Dijk behind him, and he looked like a very, very angry man. Van Dijk had to whisper to the camera rather than, doing the Firmino. I wouldn't mind seeing him, but I think, was the final the 5th game where they went to extra time and penalties? So 120 minutes, like 4 or 5 times within very close succession. Even for a god is tough going. So I think Salah just needs to go and enjoy life a little bit. Just put his feet up for another day or two. Take Thursday off and come back stronger. Because we've got a game on Sunday as well, so it's not even like he's got long to wait.
I don't think they are, Jan. I hope they do, because I can't stand Brendan Rodgers. But no,
I don't get this hate for Brendan Rodgers,
mate. It's just Drew. I don't know if you'll be familiar with David Brent. This is the sort of vibes that I get from Brendan. He had a picture of himself in his own house, Louis. A big portrait picture.
I'll go to bat for him for that. Apparently, that was like a charity, like recent, some literally underprivileged person or kid or something made that for him.
Yeah, but you won't put it up as pride of place, Drew.
Well, maybe.
I mean, like how recent? If he had that for years, that'd be. But like, I don't know. I do not like him though.
He's a secretary shagger as well. To be fair.
No, he was. I think he was
single-handedly. I can't really be talking.
Chris, if you want to do a debate room, I think he was single-handedly at fault for us losing the 13-14 season. Like, I seriously think he was the reason we lost that season.
Well, Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers.
I think with a more experienced manager and better recruitment, we definitely win that league.
So why is Rodgers at fault? Sorry.
Because we had 3 games left. All we needed was 7 points to win. Mathematically, win was 7 points. And we go in against Chelsea looking to win instead of being okay with the draw. Why is Gerrard the last defender on the pitch receiving that ball? I know he drops back, but we were setting up, and Chelsea were set up to frustrate us. We could have gone in for a boring draw and then cruised with 2 wins in the next game, won the title. And also, then the management for the rest of that game after we went down was terrible.
His tactics are one-dimensional, and they keep getting proven to be one-dimensional. He has no other way of playing. And I think it's coming more and more obvious now that you have to be adaptable to certain opponents. And he's not that. He's complete opposite. And there's a reason why people work him out. People have worked Leicester out this year. I think he's massively overachieved. Don't get me wrong. I think he's massively overachieved at Leicester. But now I think they're just starting to realise, I think his time's done. And that's not to say he didn't have a good time there, because he certainly has.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is the start of the long goodbye with Rodgers. I don't think there's much of a way back for him. I mean, bottling the top 4 2 seasons in a row on pretty much the final day of the season, like I'm not surprised that things are starting to go a bit backwards. But does that mean that they're not going to turn up on Thursday and play the best game they've played all season against us?
Well, to be fair, they did beat us at the King Power, didn't they?
Yeah.
So even though we absolutely battered them in that game, we were not. We just couldn't put our chances away, could we? Salah missed a penalty, but we also then beat them a couple of days before that in the cup with children on the pitch. So, end of the day, that's what we got to deal with. But what's your score predictions, Louis?
Tis a tough one. I'm curious to see if Elliot gets the nod to start. because he just looked so incredibly fresh when he came on. He looked like he hadn't been injured for a day. So he could easily, if Fabinho's back at CDM, he could easily walk into that right-sided 8. And then you've obviously got Luis Diaz as well, but I imagine he'll stay on the bench, especially if Salah's back. Jota's obviously still scoring for fun, and Firmino is his favourite player. I don't think we're going to batter them. I think they had their embarrassment against Nottingham Forest, and they just have to bounce back. We'll beat them 3-1, but it won't be as easy as we reckon. Maybe 2 goals will be scored in like the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think we have to definitely worry about Daka. That's the one that I'm worried about. I think he'll definitely play. He looked very, very threatening in the game at Anfield, in the Cup, and I think he'll definitely play now. And I think he will now. He is now above Vardy in the pecking order. I don't know how long Vardy's got left, to be honest with you, even though he's still scoring goals, which is crazy considering he doesn't play that much football anymore. But yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 as well. I don't think Salah will start. I think Diaz might. I think Elliott might as well, considering the amount of the way that we elevated when those two came on against Cardiff, and the fact they only had 15 minutes as well. I think they're pretty much guaranteed to start with Bobby and Jota as well. So yeah. That is how we're thinking. We will have Louis here on the watch along on Thursday, so make sure to check that out. And we've also got loads of stuff coming up, Carabao Cup final based. I'm actually going Carabao Cup final, boys. Just putting it out there. Not gonna flex or anything. Not gonna flex. But yeah, anyway, we'll catch you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow the bearded guy and the also bearded guy. Yeah, we will catch you in the next video.